In the beginning, in the conception, we had carte blanche to completely restart a new design of Garrett. We wanted to keep the main DNA of who was Garrett. We didn't want to change that much because it was kind of working already.
To be honest, my biggest inspirations from that at the very beginning would have been, I played the original games, of course. They have a slightly different flavour. Time's moved on, so I mean, we're not still in 1998, but the character was there.
We wanted to bring him more for the modern audience of today's console market. He's now in the game doing more action move, so that's why we wanted the costume and the suit to reflect that. And in the beginning it was kind of more gothic. We turned down all the things that feels gothic, for example black nails and things like that. We don't have that anymore. We want to make him a little bit more mainstream on that, but yes, he's a dark character, but we don't want really to say he's a gothic one of things, even though the Victorian period feels really gothic.
Building a story with him has been a great challenge and a great pleasure. I feel like I know the guy pretty well now. We can define him as a master thief, so this puts him at the top of his trade, the best there ever was, we could say. This means that for Garrett, a lot of the stuff that gets him out of bed in the morning, a lot of the stuff that gets him out of bed in the evening, it's about the challenge. I think he puts a lot of time and effort into how people are thinking, or how they might react. I also think this might extend to him as a character, that when he takes something, possibly of emotional value, it's maybe not just a ring to him now, it's what that ring may have meant before. Let's be poetic, it's stealing sometimes what he might not be able to have himself because he's such an independent spirit.
It was really my role, it was to art direct the team that was working on Altair. Same thing that I did with Garrett. Both were characters that often can feel a bit historical, and we had to make them more action figure. It needs to stand in a crowd of your NPCs, but it also needs to stand within all the other heroes on the market. And that, often people will say maybe, he's too white or he's too black, he's standing too much, but in fact it's a good thing. You need to stand as a hero in the crowd.
I would say what's interesting about Garrett is the fact that he wouldn't describe himself as a hero. I don't think he's ever pretended to want to stand on a rooftop and look down and say, I shall save you.
So on that side he's really seen as a anti-hero, and wanted to prove ourselves that that kind of hero was really fitting with today's market, and that kind of a main character can also be mainstream. So with the Joker, the main character of the movie The Crow, and all those kind of inspiration come from us that we were in a good direction.
He's a fairly closed individual. We know him as an independent. He doesn't trust a lot of people, only himself. He doesn't talk to a lot of people, but he's very talkative inside his own head. He's a funny guy, but he doesn't necessarily crack a lot of jokes. This all sounds like somebody who's not going to be a lot of fun to play a game with, but to be honest, the contrast that can bring and the way that we tell this narratively, is I think it actually brings him some really interesting texture.